So somebody said once to me, I'm giving you a cup of coffee. And the person brought the coffee. And I asked the person, is this coffee? Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good everything. How are you? I'm fine. I'm good. Back to what I started with. So the person brought the coffee and it didn't have the froth like this. I said, sorry to say, this is not espresso. You just gave me Nescafe. Sorry, Nescafe, I'm not against you. I still do Nescafe for your information. Yeah, you can never go wrong with a good cup of coffee. Instead of going around the house every morning hating on people, I think you just take a cup of coffee, heat on people, not hate on people. All right, let me just have this fun. Okay. Welcome to the WORDCAFE live show. I'm excited. So what are we going to be doing today? So lately, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I love knowledge, so I go for knowledge. I read other people's thoughts. I see what they do. LinkedIn is a professional platform. Professional in the sense that it's not just corporate for your information. This is how I view it, because so many times people see it as a corporate platform. No, it's a professional platform. And if you are a professional in what you do, maybe you are a dancer, a horticulturist, a chef, you are, name it, it's a profession. It provides a platform for you to come share your thoughts, put it out there. It's a social media platform anyway, even though some people come there to do certain things I see as not LinkedIn worthy. But who am I? So lately, I've been seeing a lot of graduate trainee programs on the platform. So I know on this show I've shared it before, my activities spans within the oil and gas space, and I follow a lot within the oil and gas space. The African continent is picking up within the energy space, a big player, and a lot has been happening. The energy space in Africa has existed for over half a century. Over half a century. And what we are seeing happening now is like we're seeing the change of guard, so to say. The older generation, they are, leaving, and we're having this gap. So a good number of organizations within the energy space are beginning to have, it's not as if they've not been having it, but now it's like we're having a lot of training programs, which is good. Graduate trainee programs, which is good. And I ask myself, when I see all of them popping up, coming up, it's like, okay, what's the target? What's the aim for the future? What's the target? What's the aim? What are we looking at? What areas are we training for? What kind of competencies? What kind of capabilities or capacity? What are we looking at? Are we training to build on the existing, ecosystem? Or are we just training because there's a budget for it? Because it has really moved. The oil and gas or the energy space globally has moved. There was a time there was this, what I call it, pursuit for renewables, green energy and all of that, where that was, I think, pre-COVID or before the COVID. A lot of the energy industry companies were going back on fossil fuel and all of that. But after the COVID and seeing what the earth really needs in terms of energy to run the earth, so to say, we say that, okay, we can't go back. We cannot go back on this. We need to intensify. Then again, we're beginning to see a lot of international energy companies within the African space moving away from certain assets, like the land and swamp assets. Am I confusing you now? Don't worry, just listen. You'll learn one or two things. So they are moving away, creating room for the indigenous or the independent oil and gas firms or energy firms to come in and play and be players, and all of that. So those are the aspects you're looking at now. You have the upstream, midstream, and downstream. That's the value chain of the energy sector. So you have the oil servicing firms. You have the name them, service providers, support functions, and all of that. You even have the regulators to check what the independents are doing. So we need to now look at the forms of training to undertake. Now, I see that before now we used to pay attention to things like petroleum economics, where you have petroleum economics, then you have drilling engineers, and you have things like geosciences, that's geology, seismic studies, and all of that. But again, we're beginning to see even the support functions begin to grow. Like you have the commercial, law, ethical principles, and all of that. Then HR, those who will handle the procedures, interpret the books in terms of remuneration and benefits and all of that. So we need to pay, in my opinion, that's, because I observed the future. What would the future bring? Or what does the future hold? There's a lot of space. Again, we're seeing a lot of people who are beginning to retire from that space because of age and the law. So you're now beginning to have new opportunities, but you must know what you're training for. Is it a good thing? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, absolutely. And I think a lot of organizations should pay attention to that. Yeah, pay attention to training. There's nothing wrong in training. Somebody will say, but these guys, they went to university, they just graduated with good grades and all that. That's a whole kettle of fish. It's a whole different ball game. You having all the degrees is different from coming into the operations, where you come to see that, yes, what we did in school, the ideal versus the real. You have the ideal situation, you have the real situation, just like when we studied ideal gas equation and real gas equation. So where you begin to see temperature and pressure really affecting things. So you're beginning to see that, what I studied in school is far different from what I'm seeing here now, and all of that. It is good. So that's to say that the training departments of most of these organizations should begin to look at strengthening these areas, like the OJTs on the job training and all of that. Begin to strengthen them, because the future has a lot. It's changing. The dynamism, it's so dynamic. The space is so dynamic that you sleep and wake up, you see a change. You go to the bathroom to take a bathroom break, you come back, you see a change. It's that bad. So you need to pay attention to that and see how you can put the right people in the right place to run it. Should we train? Like I said, absolutely, we should train, because the training helps to cover gaps that the school system could not cover. They've gone to school, they've gathered all the information. That's information. Now you are now looking at, how will this data work? How do I use the data now? How do I take it to the next level? How would it work? So that's where you begin to do the necessary. And I'm really glad. Yes, I'm really glad that organizations are taking those bold steps. But again, you need to understand also, for those who are being trained, you need to understand that you're not just being trained for an organization, you're being trained for an industry. So you must have that at the back of your mind. You are being trained for an industry, not just for an organization. What does that mean? You must put yourself to work, because there are a lot of opportunities out there. A lot. So if A doesn't, B is available, C, D. Even the independent, you can even start something like, consulting or something, providing a particular service for a company within the industry or for the industry. So it's a very good thing. Now, another thing again we need to look at or consider is the collaboration now, the collaboration within the government and service providers and companies within that space. You partner, because to a large degree, we can't do without the government. We can't do without the government. So, and the government cannot do without these companies or this industry, because it brings a level of economic empowerment. It brings in the liquid cash that will cause the industry to grow. An aspect again which, in my thinking, has become a necessity is the AI craze, the AI revolution. Back then, when you look at training processes and all of that, technology was not this advanced. But as we speak now, technology has gone take 1, 2, 3, 4 steps into the future, and AI is what is doing it. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is what is doing it now. So we need to, embrace it, infuse it into what we do, and see how we can advance the course of the industry. Well, I felt to come share this, with us on the show, training and the future. Training organizations that are out there, organizations that are, out to train for companies, train for the government, train for the industry. You have a lot to do. So you need to put in place excellent services so that, whoever encounters you will like, wow, this person knows what he or she is doing, or this organization knows what they are doing. All right then, guys, every society which thrives and lives and moves from one level of progress to the other, training is key. Very, very key. Yeah, training is key, because it helps to cover a lot of gaps. Where when you carry out some certain analysis to see actual versus, and all that, you come to see the gaps. So training is what helps to plug these gaps and equip the individuals that will go out there to do the job, professionally speaking. So don't look back on it. If you go to advanced, civilized, as we want to call it, societies, you see it there. Training schools, training for various industries. It could be fashion, it could be extractive, it could be the energy sector. Just name it. They are training. They are training. So in other words, you also need trainers. Those who understand. They've been in this space. They've gathered a wealth of knowledge over the years, and they are seasoned in what they do. So you now need them to come sit. So I'll close with this. Back in school, we used to go into the lab. Excuse me. You can't go wrong with a good cup of coffee. We used to go into the lab for practicals. I remember him, Professor Onoshakbo. I think he's translated now. So there was this particular class. We were to look at something under the microscope. And we were looking. We kept looking. He said, "So what's the problem?" I said, "We can't see anything." He looked at it and smiled and told us, "Look again." We looked. We're not seeing anything. He now said something that was so instructive. He said, "Look with the eyes of experience." He now explained what we were seeing to us. We now picked up our textbooks. We now saw the images. Actually, that was what we were seeing under the microscope. But we couldn't make anything out of it. So that's where experience comes to, experience. We can't do without it. We leverage on it. So we have experienced hands who come into the training space and leverage on it. So what you were supposed to cover maybe in 3 years, experience will help you cover it in 3 months. If you're working with an experienced tutor or instructor, they take you through it, and they show you the ropes and all of that. And I think we need them. I think it's a space. We need them. Those who have the capability to articulate thoughts, bring them down and take them across. We need them. All right, guys, this is what we came to do on the show today. It is our way of letting you know that what you're doing is not out of place. You are doing the right thing. We're available on all social media platforms. Yes, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, even on LinkedIn that I started with. So go ahead. We also have a YouTube channel. Are you following us? Have you subscribed? Please do. And hit that notification button so that when episodes like this drop, you'll be the first to know. This is the space where we come in to lean on one another's experience to forge a positive path. Once again, till I come your way again, my name is Amachree Isoboye.